Wrestling started with my uncle George Espinosa. He wrestled at Bolsa Grande and at Arizona State University. And judo and wrestling is kind of what I've always done my whole life. There was no other sports, wasn't allowed to do anything else. But George got a hold of me probably when I was about 4 years old and started taking me to tournaments and different practices, and things just kind of went from there, and we enjoyed the sport and just kept going to everything, national events, all the state events, of course, and I excelled from the very beginning pretty much. The greatest impact is probably my Uncle George. He pushed me through thick and thin whenever I wasn't doing what I was supposed to, which is pretty easy to do as a kid, get off track. He always got me on track and spent hours and hours with me in the room, me and my cousins. I mean, individually, he was with us probably in a week, maybe 3 days a week, all the way through, plus weekends. Wrestling hero probably was John Smith. During my time as a kid, I mean, I didn't really know too many big wrestlers. I was more into judo. But as soon as I saw John Smith wrestle for the first time, automatically he was my favorite. That low single, that was it for me. I think it's mostly my mental preparation for matches. I mean, when I was training and just going to tournaments on the off season, there was a lot of times I got beat by guys that weren't even on that level, And then, of course, when a big tournament comes by, nationals and stuff, I'm prepping completely different than I would just a regular match, and no one could touch me at that level. If I prepped the right way, there was no one going to beat me, I don't think, in those days for sure. My most outstanding moment actually wasn't with me wrestling; it was me coaching. It happened with Liam Cronin, his junior year. Liam came out in wrestling and just came out for his freshman year and really didn't. His freshman year got beat. I mean, I think he only maybe won a few matches. But for him to make it in 2 years to that level and all the hard work we put in, that was probably one of my biggest accomplishments. Yeah, well, the biggest one I could think of is probably my junior year state semifinals against Jerry Abbas. Honestly, Jerry Abbas was probably the most technical wrestling or judo that I've ever wrestled in my life or competed against, fought against. He was at different levels, and for me to beat him was mostly my mental preparation, like I said, and I counted his steps. I think that's about it. I don't know about differently, but I mean, I would have liked to wrestle more in college, D1 school. But I think the main thing that could have helped me the most, judo and wrestling, is probably getting in the weight room a little bit more. I wasn't too fond on lifting, and I didn't really have the knowledge of how to do it at the time as much as I know now. If I could do certain things like that now, I think the game would change a little bit. Mostly that I was a hard worker, and all my accomplishments came from hard work. A lot of people think it was just natural talent. They don't really see behind the scenes, but I think, I worked my tail off to get all the accomplishments that I had.
Well, much deserved. That's why you're in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Coach.